during the COVID-19 period. Of course, now more than ever, we have been able to see that a lot of things being done in regard to technology. We have seen a lot of people using the video conferencing, and of course this has also reduced the travel time, and it's a good thing. But for now, we stick to the Communications Authority of Kenya. Thank you so much, Marcy Wanjau, for finding time to join us this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
All right, and just for a better understanding in regard to the Communications Authority of Kenya, probably we can start from what mandates or responsibilities have you been charged with, of course, in relation to safeguarding the interests of consumers in the country?
The Communications Authority of Kenya is a state corporation with a multiple mandate spreading from telecommunications, postal and courier, to electronic commerce and cybersecurity. Within this time that we have had a COVID pandemic, this has really put us in the center spot because of the very high absorption of ICTs. We have seen this because a lot of work, business, learning and entertainment continues within homes, away from environments that were previously not socialized for that kind of activity. In Kenya, we have seen an over 200% spike in the usage of data, for example, within homes. What this has done is that environments that were used for social and domestic use are now used for more sensitive undertakings. And this has then made us a bit vulnerable on the cybersecurity front. To address that, we have taken up a lot of initiative to educate users, to educate children, parents, guardians on the risks that present themselves online, to ensure that as people continue to use this medium, they use it meaningfully for positive gain and are able to then protect themselves and to reduce the incidence of cyber threats, as this is what is currently happening world over. I would say we are making good gain. There's a lot of information across all platforms, and mine would be to urge that for as long as we continue to rely heavily on the use of ICTs day to day, that we would be really upping our awareness and our capacity to ensure that we engage appropriately.
All right. Now we have seen an upsurge of the use of technology, as I mentioned earlier. Do we expect to see this even post the pandemic times?
Yes, this is likely to continue. There is a new word that has emerged about that post-pandemic, we are likely to enter a new normal where things might never quite return to what they were before. True. Fortunately for us in Kenya, because of the kind of speeds that we enjoy on broadband, and also because of an extensive network in terms of coverage, this is likely to be sustained, and this we intend that it would be a boost and a leverage on productivity.
All right, we do know that the Communications Authority of Kenya was established back in 1999 to facilitate the Department of Information and Communication sectors, including broadcast, cybersecurity, of course, telecommunication sectors as well. Probably, how has the journey into this been, and with that is in regard to the rapidly changing times today of technology?
I think this is an exciting journey indeed, because coming to 20 years, we are really coming of age, and recognizing that 20 years ago, we were in a space where we didn't have mobile telephony, for example. We didn't have mobile money. We did not have digital connectivity, even as we see on the TV and the broadcasting as we have them today. So we came into what you would call a fairly analog space, came in to regulate an industry and to boost diversity of choice. And coming to 20, if we were to personify ourselves, we are a young person coming out into the world, seizing opportunities, and looking forward to a bright future. We are very excited about that because with the increased adoption of ICTs, we begin to see new and emerging possibilities. For example, the opportunity for electronic commerce, the opportunity for jobs on the electronic platform, which will open up opportunities for our children, not for this country, not for the continent, but for the world. So this is very exciting. Indeed, it is a challenge because it will require actors to come together and to prepare to seize these opportunities and to leverage on them. But it's a very, very positive and hopeful space indeed.
Now, we also do understand, just going back a little bit, where President Uhuru Kenyatta mentioned or identified ICTs as the drive forces in the regulation or realization of the Big Four agenda, that is the manufacturing, food security, universal health, as well as the affordable housing. What's the link between the two, the ICT and the Big Four agendas into this, and what's its potential in accelerating economic growth in the country?
Coming into the 20 years, one of the commitments that we are making is to continue to exert our efforts towards deepening the Big Four agenda, anchoring the Vision 2030, because ICT comes in as an enabler. It comes in as an anchor, and it has tremendous possibility to push aspects, for example, of universal health. Because once you are able to put in the networks in place, it enables somebody who requires specialized attention from a remote part of this country to avail themselves of specialized help that is likely to be available within the city, within the click of a button. What this does, first of all, is to promote better health care for all the citizens of this country. It also minimizes the use of time and resources traveling to and fro and waiting to be able to receive treatment. Looking at the Big Four agenda, aspects of housing and food security, all these indeed are very fundamental aspects which must be addressed if we are to move forward. And we do come in as a Communications Authority of Kenya to anchor this possibility, because our aspiration, our hope and our commitment is to move this country towards digital transformation. And this can be achieved through enabling the Big Four agenda.
Okay. All right, and of course we cannot also lack to appreciate the good work or the milestones that the Communications Authority of Kenya has done. But of course it's also a sector that is faced by a myriad of challenges, be it in terms of policies. So what are the new reflections that you may have strategized going forward to change these challenges into solutions?
Indeed, we operate in a very, very dynamic environment, and this sometimes has posed a challenge to catch up in all aspects, to catch up with the changes that are happening. One of the strategies that we adopt on this is to foster very close relationships with stakeholders to ensure that we are able to talk about things and to make adjustments even as we wait for the fundamental elements to be put in place for operations. I would say this has worked well and we continue to benefit. Of course, part of the path has been issues like litigation, which have led to elements of delay in implementation, and because of the close stakeholder relationships that we continue to foster, we trust that this will enable us to leverage and to shorten the time that it takes to go to market, particularly with regulatory tools. The other aspect, of course, is to be able to seize the future. You have to step up and continue to learn and to commit to exploring new ideas. This we have turned as an opportunity to convert into a learning institution, that we would be forever inquisitive to find out what is happening, because by the very nature of technology, it does not exist and thrive within borders. It exists across borders. And thankfully, we have seen from the past that it is possible, because already the books that are written Kenya will find its place in a leadership position as far as ICT leadership is concerned, and it's a position that we want to retain and to keep and to continue justifying. And this indeed is possible as we continue to engage with our close stakeholders and to leverage on those gains.
Mm-hmm. And just talking about the challenges, we do understand that cybercrime is on the rise or has been on the rise. It's also a threat, not just here in Kenya, but even worldwide. Probably what efforts have you put in place to see that, Kenyans have been secured in regard to the cyberspace?
One of our key mandates is to protect the Kenyan cyberspace, and we do have a setup called the KESAT, the point of contact that works 24 hours, 7 days a week to promote trust and confidence online. This happens through detecting possible threats, alerting the possible victims so that they take corrective action. Also as a continuing commitment to make users aware of the gains and the harms that come across online. I'm sure when users have gone across all platforms, they have found a lot of information from us, and it is something that we have really enhanced during this time because we do recognize that a lot of time is being spent on screen. Allow me to highlight one of our flagship projects that is called the COP, Be the COP, Child Online Protection. We take this flagship initiative very, very seriously because as a young nation, we know that a lot of the children who are growing today are digital natives. This is a platform that they are very keenly aware of, particularly now as they grow for education and entertainment. And we would want to spin off this platform for productive use as they go forward. We also are aware that because of increased adult usage for transactions, financial transactions and the like, that the vulnerabilities also rise, and we remain very vigilant to protect even adult users against things like identity theft and cyber stalking, spamming and the like, so that as we engage online, it is a safe, a positive and a productive engagement.
And just staying on matters of cyber stalking, as you said, it's a very critical matter. And for example, right now when children are at home, we do understand that they're also using technology. How can they be protected from such things?
One of the initiatives we take is to encourage parents and guardians on the home front to really come along their children and work on that platform, appreciate it and understand it, as to encourage the children as they continue to use this platform. As long as it continues to be used for essential elements, for example, like learning at home, for buying things, shopping, trading and doing business, it is important that the entire household is engaged and aware on this. We also do have information online that we share and are also willing to actually engage communities should they request that we can have an engagement and a conversation around what going online means, what are the risks, what are some of the proactive steps that a home can take in order to shield their children. This information is available and is open for discussion and consideration.
And just when we started, we said that the mandate that you're charged with is to safeguard the interest of consumers. But at the same time, you also expect, what do you expect from the consumers with the new technology today?
The unique thing about Kenya is that our consumer is very aware, and the Kenyan consumer also has very high expectations. And as we continue to offer diverse options, diverse choice, one of our commitments to the consumer is that they would be able to get value for money, that the services available would be effective, they would be efficient, they would be affordable. But coming from the consumer back to the regulator, we expect engagement, positive engagement. We want the consumer to stretch us and also to give us corrective and positive feedback that we would be able to act on. Because at the end of the day, our business is to ensure that we have satisfied consumers and they feel that their rights and obligations are protected. And it's only through that kind of engagement that we would be able to communicate and identify a path going forward. We have done this for quite a while. And a lot of the initiatives that have come out, for example, the Child Online Protection Initiative was as a result of consumer engagement that happened a couple of years ago. And we now see a flagship initiative that was in direct response to concerns that had been raised in the community. And we are hopeful that continued engagement would enable us to identify this kind of opportunities and to develop products and services that would be responsive to address these needs.
All right, and finally, what does the future hold that is in the ICT sector? Marcy, do we see issues like cybercrime or cyber stalking at some point being, a forgotten story or fairy tale?
Issues of cybersecurity will always be with us. But of course, the landscape will change drastically when you have a consumer who is very well aware, who is engaged, then they come in to protect themselves against those kind of harms. So in terms of the future, I see a very bright future and a very productive future. As I said earlier, Kenya is a young nation, and Kenya has an excellent education system. This platform, the ICT platform, will enable us to leverage this for the world. Our commitment is a move towards a digitally transformed economy. We expect that this would translate into digital jobs, that it would translate into better delivery of service, public services from government to citizen. We expect that this would lead to a repackaging of skills to include digital skills. And because we are all encouraged, particularly at this time of the pandemic, to use the tools that we have in our hands, as a country, we have a good heritage of a good network, good connectivity, good education. We are well placed geographically as against other nations to leverage in terms of timeline to work in the night, for example, when the rest of the world is asleep, and when they wake up, they find that we have done work. So this is the platform and this is the opportunity that we would like to come together and to partner with other agencies as we move to realize the true benefits of heightened productivity and greater opportunities on the digital platform.
All right, thank you so much, Marcy Wanjau. Very insightful thoughts right there. She is the Acting Director General, Communications Authority of Kenya, and we have been talking matters communication in general, and also in regard to the fact that there has been an upsurge in use of technology, that is during the COVID-19 period. And of course, she says right there that there is a bright future for Kenya in regard to the transformation of technology. And of course, hoping that this will translate into more better jobs creation, skills going forward. Thank you so much. This has been the second hour of Daily Brief right here. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Shiro, and we will be back with Newscat in just a few minutes. Stick around for that.